Yes, the snapshot.
Amazing. Seriously. It's a lot of movies.
A lot of movies, huh? Oh. And a lot of this stuff. A lot of the movies, when I come across them, you know, I like First Wives Club. I still watch it. It's such a feel-good movie.
It is. It's a funny movie.
It's a funny movie. I also like House Sitter still, because I'm such a Steve Martin fan as well.
Yeah, he was so much fun to work with. I mean, that guy is great. What a pro, and really funny. And it was really a dream to work with him. And that movie also was a funny movie. I mean, funny premises and, you know, actors who actually can be funny together, that's a good combination.
It was a fantastic combination. But I got to take a break. There's still so much to talk about, especially, you know, I also want to know about that, about your foundation. The happiness. We're going to talk about happiness. That's an important thing about your life and something that you feel like you feel like you have to teach people.
I don't teach them, but remind them.
Inspire them.
Yeah,
inspire them about happiness. I love talking happiness. That's a very important thing. It's I love talking happiness. Plus, we have to talk sex.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, that's the great thing about Goldie. Most Hollywood actresses say, I am not talking about sex. And Goldie says, yes, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Yeah, we'll talk about sex. Because that's important to you as well, huh?
It's important. It should be important to everybody.
Yeah, really. Because I have some people from a TV show. It's called 40 Days Without Sex. They're going to come on after you.
Oh, really?
I've never gone 40 minutes without sex.
Wow.
How about you?
Oh, my God. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's sort of also with a religion.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to hear what their premise is.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. And we'll talk more with Goldie Hawn. That was the super Goldie Hawn. Start to me that Goldie Hawn. Oh, we're having so much fun, aren't we?
Yeah, we're having fun.
We're having fun and so much to talk about stuff. Because I was actually surprised. Because I've always been a fan of yours, and I think a lot of people have been. But also, I love the way you look. I mean, you look fantastic. Doesn't she look great still? Fantastic, yeah. You've always been so... And you used to have, I read about that, you used to have a sort of a low self-esteem, low body image years ago, right?
Well, when I was very, very young, I was really, really skinny, you know, and when you're little and skinny and you're not developed and everybody else is, you don't think that you look that good.
Oh, so it was more like a boob thing.
So it was, well, kind of like that, but I was very thin. I used to wear 2 pairs of socks because my ankles were so thin and hated my ankles. You know, I like them now, but... Then I didn't. So, you know, when you grow up with these kinds of things, I mean, hopefully you have enough of a family to support those things. You can get over them.
Right.
A daddy who tells you you're beautiful. And, you know, because you can't depend on men to make you feel beautiful, really. You have to feel beautiful on the inside. It's the dad that really does it.
That's very important to have that. To have that. And I assume you didn't have that in your life, or did you?
No, I had a great dad.
Oh, you had a great dad.
Yeah.
That's great. But I mean, because the thing about the body image, I remember an episode that I saw of Oprah Winfrey's show.
Yeah.
And you know what she said?
What?
When she works out in the morning, she's on the treadmill, she pictures your ass.
Oh, I remember that. That was a few years ago.
You turned Oprah gay. How about that?
I know. Oh, what does that mean?
She thinks you have the greatest butt in the world.
Oh, God, isn't that fabulous? I mean, I must admit, I do love Oprah. And that was a fun period. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that's when she was, you know, really, you know, in her workout regime, and she still is, I mean, obviously. But,
wow, what a bitchy comment.
No, I think she is. You can't not. I mean, as you get older, seriously, you have a tendency to put on more weight. Your metabolism slows down. Lots of things change.
I'm the exception to the rule. But, I mean,
no, you're
generally...
not. No, you're not.
What's wrong?
Well, by the way, call me in 10 years. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay, we'll call you in 10 years.
You're still a baby.
I'm a baby.
You're a baby. Oh, you're kind of a baby.
But that's a great compliment. So
anyway,
Oprah's on the treadmill thinking Goldie Hawn's ass.
She's always thinking about her, you know, physicality and her health, and that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So, you know, because she's a great lady. So anyway, so that's that, whatever.
Right, but you're very healthy still. I mean, your relationship with Kurt Russell, Kurt Russell, great actor. Great actor, isn't it, Kurt Russell? Absolutely. Great actor, seems like whenever I see him on TV, like a cool guy. But that relationship, I mean, people are very fascinated by that because you've been together for how many years?
25.
25 years. 25 years. Hey, that's a good one.
I know, it's very funny.
For Hollywood.
No, for Hollywood, it's like, and you know, as long as the Ice Age or something.
I know.
I mean, for Hollywood, it's a lot. So, I mean, people go, you know, get so many applause for that. And I'm not sure what the applause are for, actually. You know, for, you know, hanging in there or having something work for that long or, you know, I mean, ultimately, you know, it's like, whatever. I mean, it's been really fun, you know.
Yeah.
Relationships are hard. They don't always go the way you want them to. But I think you have to keep your eye on sort of do you want one or not. And
has it been those 25 years overall? Have they been easy, or has it been
not
work?
At all.
Not at all.
Sometimes have been really easy and really fun and amazing, actually. And there are other times that are more difficult. And it's because we all go through our life changes. We all go through cycles. We all go through periods of life. We grow, we shift, we change. We have to.
How old were you when you met him?
30-something.
And he was younger than you were.
And he was younger. He's 5 years younger.
You invented that toy boy thing, don't you?
No, God, no. I mean,
You're like a Demi and Ashton, but much
not
earlier.
Really. I mean, actually, that's not so much. I think when you get into 10 years, you're getting into boy toy stuff.
Yeah.
But no, we're pretty like neck and neck.
So it was hard work. So I think that's good to hear. I mean,
it's attention being paid. I mean, there are choices to make. I mean, things get hard and rough, and you go, oh shit, I'm just going to get out of here. You know, I don't want to do this anymore. No. I know there's someone who would love me more. I know I'll be more sexually attracted to someone. The reality is, sexuality hits a plateau in every relationship.
Yeah.
And it's about how you nurture it. It's about how you fantasize through it, how you have an experience, your sexual experience, how you keep it fresh. You have to work at it. There's nobody around the corner that's going to be able to sustain your sexual appetite
for 30 years.
So the key is not to leave somebody because of that. The key is to figure out how to keep that alive, because that was once there.
Right.
So as long as you like the person.
And is that possible to keep it alive for 25 years?
I think that it is, but it is really about a perception of how you perceive that person. For instance, I'll do little tricks. You know, and I know Kurt does the same thing, and I do people who love each other.
What kind of tricks are you talking about?
They're not that tricky tricks.
No, but tell me.
But they're tricks that you do when you look at someone. And I remember, we go through the day when we did this, or oh, that happened, and oh, God, I'm mad about it. I take all that stuff and I put it away. And I look at him as if I've never seen him before. Or I look at him as if I remembered when I looked at him for the first time.
And correct me if I cross the line here, but you still have a very fulfilling sex life? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Oh. Great.
Very much so.
I love that.
Yeah, very
And do you dress up and stuff like that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah, sometimes I get into something. There's two things.
You'd be a great nurse.
One is, oh, yeah.
You'd be a great nurse. Coming back from home.
Yeah.
And then you hear the doorbell. You open the door. There's Kurt as a pizza delivery guy.
Exactly. Well, that's not what... I don't do that.
Kurt. Sorry, I don't have any money. I haven't got my wages yet. I wasn't paid today.
That's right. So we'll have to do some other kind of payment. However, that's not the fantasy. But
that's reality?
Well, no, that's the reality. The fantasy isn't necessarily the big-time fantasy, which you have is, I think it's very healthy. But when you say dress up, I really like to look pretty when I go to bed.
Yeah.
And sometimes I always have either a really beautiful nightgown or something really kinky and sexy and different.
But it's always beautiful.
But I really want it to be beautiful. And sometimes I'll go to bed and I mean, this is a little silly thing. I put it in my next book. But I also put a little something on my face. I'll put a little rouge on, a little blush. I like to look, when he looks at me, I want to look as pretty as I can.
So when he wakes up in the middle of the night and he looks over, you're still there.
Yeah, he doesn't scream.
That's right, he doesn't scream.
In fact, sometimes I have a little bit of blush and I put it on his cheeks before I open my eyes.
The picture I have now is sort of like two clowns laying in the bed. You put on the clown's nose as well?
No clown's nose. No. Just trying to liven things up.
But that is fantastic, and I think that is great. So let's talk about that foundation you have, or you spend time on happiness, which I mean you come across as a very happy, positive person.
Pretty much.
And pretty much. And I think myself, and I am also very happy.
I think you are too.
Do you have stuff on your website about that, or is there somewhere you can go to?
Yeah, there are places to go to. My website talks about some of it. We talk about brain related to children because we're working with children, brain development, and understanding how to affect them so they're happier children, not so depressed, more optimism.
Good.
We need it. And that's what we're working on right now.
Fantastic. And you must be very proud, Goldie, of your daughter as well, of Kate, that she's so successful and she's such a fantastic actress.
And she's a fantastic person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we look on our lives, we can do jobs well, right? But it's really how we do them and who we are inside of it. And so when I look at my children, I all want them to succeed. Katie was great. She succeeded out of the box. My son is succeeding on television. He's going to hit TV series. My other son is actually an amazing actor. He's still in university. And my other son is a Buddhist scholar, and he's getting his PhD. And I will say that each one of these children, Kate included, and not in specificity just because she's a star, but Kate included, are incredibly wholesome, loving, aware human beings. And this is what I celebrate, not their stardom.
Fantastic, Goldie. Well, I think that's a great note to end on.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Cheers!
Cheers! There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up.